It's summer.
That was your lead-in after all that?
Yep. Hey,
It's
I'm not
summer.
leading tonight.
It's
No,
summer. You're wearing an
Nobody-
OnlyFans shirt. Everything's gonna be fine, Mikey.
It's the Tampa Bay OnlyFans, if you can see it right.
Is that arena football's coming back? It's the Tampa
Yes.
Bay OnlyFans.
We have noticed, though, El Buntador is throwing the signal for AEW right now.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. It is a very crazy night here at the Biconics Wrestling Podcast. We are here to review AEW Dynamite from the 12th of June, 2024. And we got a packed house tonight right now. We've got El Buntador Numero Dos coming to us live. We've got Mikey right there in the middle on my screen, and we've got the Professor as well. JVL is also here. We are all together to talk about, well, some wonderful wrestling during Forbidden Door season, maybe? Question mark.
We're here to discuss Conglomeration Heel Night. Conglomeration Heel Night.
It's Bring Your Minion to Work Day.
Oh, that needs to happen. I wish that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's got to have to be a thing at that point. But if you haven't been with us here before, welcome. We're so glad that the algorithm decided to give up on scrubbing us from its entire memory and bring you to us today. If you've been here with us before, welcome again. We're so excited you're still joining us here. Obviously, the new lineup is going to be a fun thing here. Make sure we're going to make hitting that subscribe button, hitting those bells, getting all the other stuff we got to get done, dropping a comment down below, and buying some of our merch or joining the Patreon. I think that's about it. We're just excited because I get to be here for the first time in a couple weeks, talk about wrestling, even late at night, and with people that I love to talk about it with because our differing opinions are just funny and fun. And that's where I'll leave that because we have a weird start to this stupid show this week because it was like the promo inside the promo inside the promo inside the setup for the evening.
Yep.
We were talking about it before you got here. Like, this was such an enigma of a Dynamite where it was like, what? Did I hate it? No, I didn't hate it. Well, I didn't like it. Well, no, but I didn't. Wait, what? And we're all kind of blaming Iowa because the most
thoroughly entertained.
Terrible crowd.
Show.
And Iowa in general is, Slipknot and dog food. Those are the only things I know that have come out of Iowa that I kind of like. I don't know if there's more. Is there more that's come out of Iowa?
Seth Rollins would like to have a word.
Okay, Seth, I'll give you the. Okay, so there's 3. George Kittle, 4. I'm trying to think of anything else that really makes me excited.
All right, so let's talk about this Swerve spot that started the show.
Yes.
And the EVP's coming out, and then Chris Daniels comes out, and there was a lot going on with this intro spot.
There was a lot that happened. So
yeah,
this was a lot. This was like what, 10, 15 minutes? This was a lot because Swerve cuts a promo because he's got a match at Forbidden Door. We are being told that this is the main event for Forbidden Door.
The Forbidden Door.
I hope it is because it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a barn burner.
Can I just really quick?
No.
Swerve's fur coat is just
it's immaculate.
Like his fashion sense, fantastic. Anyway,
it's a whole Timberwolf just sitting on his shoulders.
Yep. I'm surprised he wasn't like blown up and sweating by the time he got down to the ring though, because that's heavy.
Fair.
For reals. Okay. But he cuts this promo because he's facing Will at Forbidden Door. Then he cuts a promo against the EVPs, which then prompts them to come out.
Yep.
They offer him a spot as the 5th man because we also get told that we're getting Blood and Guts on July 24th, so that's going to be a whole special. We didn't have, if I remember correctly, it's been 2 years since we had a Blood and Gut match, right?
It's been a year. We did have one last year. We did have one last year. It was not that good, as they've all can be kind of like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
because wasn't last year the Blackpool Combat Club? And
I scrubbed that from my memory.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Patriarchy, but it was like around. It might have been FTR and someone else.
I think it was FTR.
Because they did the reversal onto the tax spot. And we were like, that poured them from the top of the cage, right? From on top. So it was like
exactly
to the ground.
It's showered.
It was
and that's where we got the first sign of the Bluey Combat Club, which was great.
Yes!
Good knowledge. Well done.
That is the best thing that comes out of it. But Blood and Guts is happening. The Elite offer Swerve a spot as their 5th man. They offer him shoes.
some sneakers.
And some sneakers.
Can we also talk about how Okada, I don't care what nobody says, this is funny. It's like, it's my house.
Yeah.
Eat. Right.
Well, and then the EVP's like, hey, calm down, Okada. Just calm down. He's having a blast just like saying catchphrases.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I was going to say. I don't know if he's really checking up or if his English is just sort of meh, but he's like, I'm just going to say things. Didn't he have a "Shut Up, Bitches"? Didn't he have that somewhere in there? Shut up, bitches! I was like, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, as far as spots go, it wasn't the worst intro spot I've seen.
No.
I mean, like for me, it lingered a little,
Lingered
a little long. But the nice thing was that when Christopher Daniels came out, he did very nice seg into the first match of the night.
Yes.
After a very clunky Acclaim coming down for the save spot. Like,
Yep.
Which is setting up Blood and Guts. We all got that too. But yes, Corporate Daniels came down in his suit and tie.
Corporate Daniels.
Yep.
That's really funny.
To set up the next.
I didn't hate these promos. I didn't hate the build-in. And Mikey as the writer, you might be able to jump on this too. This just got very exposition heavy, right?
Yeah,
Well, sort of like,
this is what
I need
happens
to tell
when
you everything. I need to
Yeah.
tell you everything. You're not going to figure it out on your own, so I need to tell you everything. I need to tell you even more. After a while, it's like, hey, we're at minute 14. Where are we going? What are we doing? I get it. Let's move.
Well, this is what happens when you cram two different types of segments for two different things into one 10, 15-minute segment. Like, it was a lot.
I wanted to ask El Buntador this, though. Did you feel like this was like mid-90s WCW kind of feel where they would like jack each thing into each other thing?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I was thinking about that today, actually. This had like, it kept bouncing back and forth from that mid-90s WCW to like early 80s WWF type stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was, I mean, I didn't mind it. I was good with it. But, you know. But yeah, so I'm taking the reins here, I guess.
Do it.
So this swayed us right into our first match of the night, which was Jack Perry. What's his new moniker now?
The Scapegoat.
There it is. Yeah, the Scapegoat, Jack Perry. Versus
Oh my
Dustin
God.
Rhodes. Unlike Mikey, I'm not going to go through the whole play by play. There were some great spots. You had a lot of brutal out of the ring spots.
I feel called out.
You had both Dustin and Jack Perry landing on that concrete. Dustin got cut open and was bleeding all over the place. We did get the Scapegoat for the win, and I should also add that this was a qualifier for the
TNT title ladder match.
TNT battle, ladder match. Over
Adolfo, I have to ask something.
Yeah.
What was in the boot?
Wait. Who's Adolfo?
Okay.
Sorry, El Buntador. What was in the boot?
Yes.
What could he not get out of his boot the entire time?
The
I
entire
have
time.
no idea.
Man.
I couldn't piece what spot they were trying to go for other than like another blade job.
Because
But
they called it off twice, and then he had to sort of shoo Aubrey away at one point.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And then he did this smart film thing. He got his foot on the rope, and the camera zoomed in, and it was a great shot. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
All of that for a Switchblade comb. Like the whole thing was just for one Switchblade comb moment.
Right. Overall, though, the match, I felt the match was a good match. It was an entertaining match. You know, Dustin Rhodes is he's a professional. And
Sure.
he goes out and, you know, I'm still going to give him his flowers, even for that, where was it? At World's End, when he got, like, called up 30 minutes before the pay-per-view was supposed to go off to fight Swerve Strickland. And they still put together, like, a somewhat decent match, you know? But, you know, and Jack Perry, again, he's a good wrestler. I don't know if this is part of this whole new persona, but he's not as high flying as he was as Jungle Boy. So I'm not sure if this is like the evolution of Jack Perry now, or if that's going to come down the line.
Well, if I may, when he made his debut over in New Japan, he kind of resorted to this more grounded style of wrestling. Right. I mean, you kind of have to when you get adopted into the House of Torture, which, by the way, Jack Perry is still part of the House of Torture in New Japan, which is, we can go into a whole nother topic about how I feel about House of Torture. But anyways.
But at the same time, he's also now trying to steal Kenny Omega's moves, which is also more grounded than he was at the time, too. So
I like this match, too. I'm kind of there with you. I have a hard time with Dustin, just that I like him so much, and I've known his career for so long.
36 years.
And it's really, oh, God. It's really hard for me to watch him turn into this sort of Brooklyn Brawler type of jobber guy.
Right.
It's brutal to be like, hey, every time I see you, I know you're taking a pin.
Yeah.
And he's not quite in the trainer and putting guys over place. He's still doing killer matches. He's still giving the bird. He's still blading himself. My son came in at one point to watch, and he watched the tail end of this. And he was like, what happened to Cody's face? It's like, no. Yeah. That's Cody's brother. Oh, yeah. What happened to his face? I was like, well, which side of his face?
That's face paint,
that side of his face. Like, oh. So, he's taking risks. He's doing tough things. It hurts me that he's not getting pushed, and it hurts me that he's stuck because his heart is with his brother. And he wanted to do those other spots and those other things, but he's under contract, and that's tough. So watching this was hard for me, especially that DDT with the forehead print on the set.
On the concrete.
Like that was like scary, but still a great match.
Yep.
This and one other were like the two matches that kind of saved the night for me.
Right.
But we'll talk about that when we get
there. And I also do want to give Jack Perry his flowers. He's doing a hell of a job as a heel, because I was so mad that he won. Man, I was so mad. Also because Dustin Rhodes, I don't know if you saw, but on social media he was calling out Jack Perry before this match. So to have Jack Perry win, I was so mad, but then I was like, you know what? That's being a good heel right there, and that's why. So, so after this match, we had our spot with Renee, where she was spot of the night, baby.
Yes, it was. God, yes. It absolutely was.
I'm so happy that all of you guys enjoy a nice coked up, Briscoe brother running his mouth somewhere else.
This was wild. This was
the best. Sorry, I don't mean to jump in. I'm just excited to talk about it. The best two great things on this promo. One, everyone trying to not laugh when it starts.
Yes.
And two, everyone trying not to laugh after Briscoe just decides to take the reins.
Literally, we are doing what Mark Briscoe did is what's happening right now in this ring.
He's trying.
Macho Man.
They're trying so hard. Renee gives up. Renee's just like, I'm scared. What is this?
In the background, Willow's trying not to laugh.
Yeah,
Cassidy. This was Cassidy's biggest poker face test yet.
El Butcher, what did you say?
I was Kyle O'Reilly's in the background cracking up. You had Willow Nightingale. She can't formulate words. It was a conglomeration. That's what it was. Conglomeration.
Word of the night.
Conglomeration.
Yeah. Kyle's face doing straight to the camera, going, "Wow, he's just said that." Wow, that just happened again. It's so great.
And Renee, and at the end, Renee's just like, that's it.
I have not seen Renee crack that many times on camera in a very long while. Mark Briscoe, good on you.
There's almost an element of, as I'm rewatching this as we talk about it, it looks like Willow's waiting for them to yell cut.
Yeah.
Like Willow's waiting for them to be like, that's too much, right? They're going to call cut, right?
But it's just going
They're going to make us do this again, right? There's no way they're keeping this. Oh, they didn't say cut. Oh, we're still going.
She should know that they hold this like when they do with Shabata after any time he's on a promo there with his thing.
So good. This made my list. I said this right before you got here, John. This made my list for promos of the year to watch again. Briscoe going nuts. So it's in my list of 8 so far.
Yep.
As opposed to the next match we got here, which was our first squash of the night.
Yep.
As Roosh took on Dion Rushman, or Rushman as they kept saying. They couldn't figure out his name.
Well, that was part
about this because I'm gonna go in later.
That was part A of
yes.
Match A of this segment.
There's match
not
1
much,
and 1A.
Right. Not much to talk about. It was Roosh in a squash match.
Yeah.
That was
he got his 3 moves of doom in and he was done.
Yep.
What was great, this was the only, there were a few pops from the audience so far. This was the first legit one because they went, so-and-so from Des Moines, Iowa. And everyone went, oh, I'm listening. And then just crushed the local. Destroyed it.
Yep. But then part B of this match came out because you had MJF walk on out and him and Roosh just start throwing down.
It was a hockey fight.
Yeah. It started in the ring, went out into the audience, and that's why we're calling this match B on this, because it's not your stereotypical where they like start scrumming and like disappear. Oh, no. We're in the ring, we're in the audience, and then we're backstage, and that's where finally like the entirety of the AEW staff
we get the second appearance of Corporate Daniels.
Yes.
And I know Mikey wants to go full spicy Mikey in a second. John and I talked about this once before. There's this weird conspiracy theory, which I think is getting more and more clout, where anything that kind of happens on SmackDown sort of tends to appear in Dynamite, at least cameraman or film wise.
Yep.
Right?
Something similar happened in SmackDown with Cody being backstage waiting for AJ, and we're gonna take you to the back. That like they're just the one shot, not cut away, long.
When do you talk
segment.
to John about SmackDown? I thought that was me.
So there was some weird, like, hang on a second, what? Just getting the cues from that. I'm not saying that's bad, but
no,
this felt like, and I'm sure all of us are old heads to a degree. This felt like a late '90s backstage promo by the end.
Oh, without a doubt.
Everybody's involved. Everybody's throwing stuff.
Yeah.
MJF got lucky catching that tub at the last second because the corner of that was coming right for the nose.
Right there.
And he fastballed that.
Yep. And did you see when MJF put Roosh through that table? He pulled back so he would crack his head on the wall.
That was close.
Yeah. But apparently we are now. It was announced that we're going to be getting MJF versus Roosh on Dynamite next week. Right?
Commercial free
to start the
filler
show.
Feud comes to its head.
Exactly.
There you go.
We're just gonna shoehorn that in there.
This
go.
squash match made me angry so much.
Why? Why so mad?
No. This one didn't make me angry. The other one on the show made me angry.
The other one.
Okay, let me clarify this. The match itself was fine. That didn't make me mad. It's what happened afterwards in terms of what they were doing for Roosh talking is what made
Oh
me
my
mad.
God! Yes, when he tried to set it up, that was the worst. Like, draw MJF. There was nothing to it.
No, and AEW did the one thing that I flippin' hate when most people do this to wrestlers who do not speak English very, very well. Because Roosh said the line, I'm like, gosh darn it. I was like, ugh. It's like, you stupid Americans. I'm like, and there it is. And there it is.
He's Greek like American. Yeah.
I was like, and there it is, Tony Khan, you fudged it up.
I'm gonna go on the other side of the fence here about that, Mikey, because like when he went down that road, it felt very early '80s, like Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik. So I was cool. I was actually okay with it. You know, I didn't. And to be honest, it like everything happened so fast that not the best.
I don't hate it. I think it's kind of cheap heat.
Right, that's what it is. That's what exactly what it is. It's cheap heat.
I kind of see both sides of this. I do think they kind of they could have set him up a little better.
Yep.
If you're going to say death to America, make it count, right? Like make us hate Des Moines or Iowa. Shit on Iowa. We've been talking about this.
Yeah.
We just crush them. That's fine.
But they just say all the Iowa stereotypes for Chris Jericho.
Yeah, then there's that. Yeah, which he didn't.
Anyway. Look, all I'm saying is we are in the year of 2024, and I have been raised on disrespect to Latin talent in general for both men and women in Western audiences. And while yes, it was cheap heat, and yes, it was very nostalgia based, progress needs to evolve, and it needs to, be in the current times. I'm sick and tired of watching any foreign talent be resorted to death to America kind of stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'm sick of it. And AEW already got most of my heat when Claudio disrespected the Lucha Libre sacredness of the mask when he ripped up Penta's mask and then wore it. That still gets burned in my brain. And that's why AEW is on thin ice when it comes to any foreign talent. I was like, oh, that imagery was not great. Poor JBL had to sit there for the whole entire rant when he popped in for a Rampage review. I apologize. That's where I stand with it.
You want to eliminate it completely or just make it more like hyper specific? I hate you, Blinken, and what you're doing for what do you mean?
That's
Nebraska. Let me just put it this way.
Good joke.
When you have a foreign talent, especially someone who is from Mexico of all places and is Latin, right? And then you see who he's feuding with, even though MJF is Jewish, he is still, Caucasian as all heck. There is just some very implicit implications there. We know MJF is winning, and I was just like, I just feel that even though this is a filler feud, let's at least just let them brawl it out. It doesn't add anything. It's cheap heat, but that's just where I stand.
I could see that. No, I don't. I agree. I think there could be more finesse to it for sure.
Yeah.
Just don't do cheap heat to do cheap heat. Everything should have a purpose, even if it is for cheap heat.
And their problem is that Roosh was not really a heel going into this, and so they're trying to like easily get him that way, and that's what you choose, which is not right. Because MJF is going to be the babyface too. You had a couple of just like midway between fighters going at each other.
Now, had you had Roosh talking Spanish, then I would have been more behind it. But I'm just like, just let the wrestlers talk in their native tongue. Not to invoke SmackDown, but me and Professor here, we love the fact that WWE let Io Sky cut her promos leading into WrestleMania in Japanese. Like, it's not that hard. But anyways, I digress. I'm off my soapbox. Let's get into what started as a very clunky mess. And by the end of this, it was kind of one of my favorite things to watch. If not because Mark Briscoe is a national treasure, but it probably doesn't mean anything, but that who pinned who has implications to me in ROH, but probably isn't going to amount to anything, but still.
Not just you. And yes, this was Bring Your Minion to Work Day, the match, as we had the entirety of the heel locker room out there at ringside.
Yep.
We had Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe taking on Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and not Trent Beretta. That would be too easy. Roderick Strong, because we need the Kingdom out there as well.
Trent Beretta, the newest member of the Don Callis family.
The Don Callis family.
The Dom Fallis family.
The first half of this was hard to get over, probably because I watched. They've done this so many times the last few weeks. Like, let's put everybody in the ring and go. They weren't botches. There were a chunk of miscues in here, which didn't get them any momentum, which was tough. And they're all kind of fighting through it. Like, oh, that didn't go well. Oh, that was the thing. Oh, wait, here, get to this. There was a section somewhere near the middle there where I think it's Kyle's going over for a jump, and they have to tell Briscoe, hey, you got to go catch him. Hey, you got to go catch him. And he goes, oh, yeah. Oh, and you see him get up and have the realization and then get there in time for the catch. Like, they were a half step behind for that. The second half of this is the match they wanted to start. Like, that's where they got it. They dialed in, and they were really flying after that. I'm not sure what the miscues at the top were. If it was sort of, hey, we're going to do this. Well, actually, we're going to do this, that. Or actually, wait, forget. Or if they were just got in their head. Or if it was the fact that the audience was dead and not making any noise or sound, not cheering for anybody the whole time. And they were like, are they even out there? Briscoe got up on the turnbuckle a few times.
He did
like,
chicken kung fu, man. How are you not going to cheer for that?
There was some chicken
so
kung
this
fu.
crowd kind of undercooked this match, and that's what I'm kind of chalking that up to. I think they got in their heads, even though they're professionals, but anyone who's been in live theater or live shows, which I'm kind of all of us here, and then Mikey's in front of students that may or may not listen. There's that moment where you're like, what do we do?
Yeah, no, that's I don't know if it was clunky or if it was botches. I mean, y'all seem to have a better eye for that than I do, but it did seem like this match took a few minutes to warm up, but then once it got warmed up, like it was I thought it was hot, you know, because you had Fletcher doing his thing, Takeshita doing his thing, you had your Orange Cassidy spot, where he does the hands into the thing, fucking Briscoe running around doing his chicken kung fu thing, Kyle O'Reilly going around and doing the reversals that he does so well. I really enjoyed the one spot where Briscoe set up Kyle O'Reilly for the knee, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was at the end of it, we did have Mark Briscoe eating that pin.
Which can I ask also, when this match started, did anyone else assume just because of history and everything else, Kyle Fletcher was going to take the pin on this one?
Yes.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Let me think about this. Yes. But they pulled a reverse psychology.
And the TV champion pinned the ROH World Champion.
Right. Probably means nothing. But I'm just saying, I feel that should qualify Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe to go at it. I'm just putting it out there.
Right. To which then at the end we had all the heels go in and start lumping everyone up.
That's a way to describe it. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, well,
this was also a chaotic mess.
Yep.
Oh no, I like lumping everybody up.
Yeah,
but I love this bit.
Willow tried to come out, but she got apparently snuck as she was coming out by Chris Statlander, because Chris Statlander kind of like tossed her out from backstage, and then we had Stooley. He said his bit, which was, what was it like? The next time you stick your nose into our business, we're taking you to the hospital or something like that.
Why did he say? He said, "Wake up."
There was a lot of things.
There's Wake up! Her eyes are open and she's staring this way, and he's like, "What? Wrong choice."
This was just a lot because that was going on stage. Meanwhile, in the ring, Trent and Kyle are beating up on Orange and Mark Briscoe. You know, Kyle O'Reilly tries to jump into the fight, but the Kingdom stop him and kind of holds him back. They're like, no, you don't need to do this. I'm just like, this was a lot, but I loved it.
Yep. So then our next spot was Renee's spot with Rey Fenix.
This was a
waste.
Was it
with Rey Fenix? Was it with Rey Fenix? I think Rey was there.
Ray was there.
Sure Rey
he
was
didn't
in the
talk.
background.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Was Alex Abrahantes not able to make it? Like, what happened?
I guess.
We've heard Ray cut promos by himself before.
Yeah, it was weird.
This was a waste for Ray, and honestly, this was kind of a waste for Renee too. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Whoever put this together was bad. But then my little New Japan heart got all excited for what happened next.
I have no idea why.
I mean, he's probably not going to go that far, but the fact that we're getting Shingo Takagi in the Owen Hart tournament, I was like, the Dragon is making his way into this tournament. I just need him to. I would love for him to go far, but I feel like a bunch of the international talent is about to get cannon foddered in this tournament.
I could see him making to the finals.
Over at AEW talent, El Butador, let's be all the way 100.
Yeah, we talked about this last year in Forbidden Door season, right? We're like, I would love to hear some of the negotiations behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like who get over for this, for that, for what, for this. We see it a little bit with Moxley and the title he has right now. We saw it a little bit with a lot of the Japanese talent that's come in, and how that goes down or shakes out. You want it to be fair in some way. I think if it's an AEW clean sweep, I'm going to be bored, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially for the Owen Hart title and all that. Like, I kind of want to see. I want to see some reason to.
Well, especially since you have 4 companies or 4 promotions involved in Forbidden Door this year with AEW, New Japan, Stardom, and CMLL, maybe.
Yeah. So that was cool. Then we had Christopher Daniels.
For the third time.
For the third time, and he announced some matches. To be honest, I
got you. Hold up, tag me in.
Go ahead.
I got you. See, this is why I take the weirdest notes. But Corporate Daniels announces that probably the biggest thing is that both
Takagi,
Okada, and the Young Bucks are going to have eliminator matches, while the Continental Classic Championship already has everybody barred from ringside. Next week, the Bucks are going to have an eliminator match, but everyone's also barred from ringside. And we come to find out that the eliminator match is going to be Bucks versus the Acclaimed, which I was like, here we go, setting up blood and guts right here. Some shenanigans is about to go down.
Yep.
But Corporate Daniels announces that's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Bucks versus Acclaim should be fun. I'm very interested to see who Okada is going to be going up against, but we'll get that announcement later. Because then we get into my favorite trio on the planet next.
And the most cinematic of all of our pre-match stuff.
That's right. We had
I wish the audio was a little better. I missed the first half of this, but it was still fantastic.
I got you. Just tell me when, and I can tell you what was said.
So we had Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shabata on the camera going up against the premier athletes. And it was fantastic. They
bum rushed them from backstage while Shabata filmed.
Yep. And Hook did Samoa Joe's
World Star.
That was I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're working as a good team.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, Shabata, and Hook is the trios team I didn't ever thought I would see, but now that I have them, I want them to actually like do a thing. You know what I mean?
I want to see them do something with it.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to name them. I know that's blasphemy for Andrew, who's on the other show. You don't got to give him a name. You don't got to give him a time. Nothing. Just like, hey, these are 3 dudes who are going to clean house, but they have the rapport.
Yep.
I think that's fun. Hook and Samoa Joe work great together. And Shabata is
Yep.
just fun. I'm just so happy with everything he's been doing lately. So
also the triple submission, because Shabata's like,
Yes!
I'm getting in on this,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
putting Mark Sterling out.
Yeah. What was it? Across? No, not a chicken wing. They were all just like sleeper.
Coquina clutch into the
Coquina
red
clutch.
rum into
Yep.
the sleeper.
yeah,
The sleeper. Yep.
Ridiculous.
It was good. It was good. And they don't even need to win gold, but just like have them ravage the trios division. I
Was
think
it just
I
2
think
months
that'd be
ago
great.
they were all killing each other?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, you know
Get
what?
out.
That's the best way you can build bonds. It's like, hey, I know
So
we try to
good.
kill each other, but let's kill other people now together.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
what?
Power
It's a
of the
blast.
learning tree.
That's
Yeah.
later. We'll talk
Power
about
of
that.
the learning. Yep. That's later. That's later.
Oy.
Because our next spot was La Primera.
Ivaqued.
Yep.
Yep.
She had her spot.
That
She's
was a
going
beautiful
up.
promo.
Yeah.
This spot was
really,
made
really
for
good.
me because I am super excited. I cannot wait. If anybody isn't familiar with the work of Stephanie Vaquer, go check out her work in CMLL, also Stardom, and pretty much anywhere globally. Because girl is working in every single promotion. And obviously, I'm going to spoil this ahead of time, but commentary brought this up during her tag team partners match later in the evening.
Mhm.
But Stephanie
Later in the
is...
evening.
Well, later in the evening, but
Literally
I mean,
next.
it happens next.
Yeah.
It's literally
But
next.
Stephanie is also a CMLL women's tag champ too. She's the current one too, which is crazy.
Yep.
I know the end result for what's going to happen at Forbidden Door, but this was probably my favorite video package ever.
But let's ask this question. What if she beat Mercedes Moné for that title?
I will be pleasantly surprised, but let's be all the way 100. Japanese talent, foreign talent, and Latin talent never get a win, especially if they belong to another promotion.
And this is also a title that was made for Mercedes to begin with, that
Yep.
Stephanie is holding, and they want to get it back on her.
Right. Okay.
Which is sad.
It'd still be great though.
Oh yeah, no,
I need
I
to
would
be
love it better.
TBS champion, but it's not going to happen.
Well, and here's the thing: if I play devil's advocate, it's the AEW mid-card belt. It's not the women's title. I think Mercedes could stand losing that to then get into a program with Toni Storm.
Yep. I'd buy that for $1.
Mercedes and Toni at Wembley.
Yep.
Yes, please.
That'd be fantastic, but I don't think it's going to happen.
So this does bring us to our next match, which is our CEO Mercedes Moné versus Zuxis, Zuxis.
I'm going to call you out hard time as the other Latino on this whole entire podcast. Let's get it right.
Huevos Rancheros?
Xerxes? You mean the bad guy from 300?
Oh, don't start that crap, JL. I already reamed it into the professor on SmackDown. I'm going to do it to you
Jimenez?
too. Julio Estevez.
Cheerios, right? Cheerios.
The flip out of here.
Huevos Rancheros.
I'm done. I hate you all. I'm blacking out my camera.
Well,
I'm done.
Mikey, half the reason we did that bit though is because commentary couldn't come to a consensus on how to say her name either.
But let's be honest. Have you seen the makeup of who is on commentary? Do you see any non-pigmented challenge people on that commentary table?
Non-pigmentedly challenged or actually pigmentedly challenged?
I mean, yes. Let's be all the way 100. But this match was, you know what? This was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was going to be my match of the night until the end.
Yeah. Go ahead, Professor. Go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Obuntador.
I didn't want to jump on you, Bunta. I was like, go.
No, because Obuntador doesn't like to talk the intricacies of math, so I'm not saying nothing.
Oh no, such anger.
Ooh.
Did you want to jump on that or?
No,
you go first. You go first.
I'm just gonna say I had fun with this match too. This probably was in my match of the night land for sure. She was rocking Monet in this.
Yeah,
there were some shots here that were like, oh my god.
When she flew through the rope to that table, I heard that imping.
I'm trying to find it. There's something she did later in the half where I don't know the move.
Oh my god.
there was just some stuff there that was like, you're gonna die. There's a part of me like I never thought Monet was going to take the pin or that she was ever in danger. But some of those 1-2 oohs in the second half were like, damn, that was close.
The
Like,
fairy tale ending lung blower
right
in the
there.
face.
Yep.
Is that what
Which
that's
that
called?
should be a finisher. It should be a finisher. I don't know what it's actually called, but it was basically a lung blower with the setup of a fairy tale ending. It's crazy.
That's what I was trying to find. Yeah. Maybe that's the thing.
What
While
the professor is looking this up, what I loved about this is because I agree with the professor that I never thought that Monet was in any danger of losing the title or getting pinned in this match. But what I loved about this is that if this is how tough Stephanie's tag team partner is, can you imagine how hard Stephanie is going to hit in that match at Forbidden Door? And I know Homegirl can rock everybody. There's a reason why Stardom calls on her a lot to work Stardom programs, because though she is in CMLL, Stephanie has been trained in the strong style of Japanese wrestling. Like, it is about to go down at Forbidden Door, and I'm excited. And I just need Mercedes needs to be prepared because she needs to hit back, because if not, Stephanie's going to rock her throughout their match at Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all this. Did it seem like Mercedes was a little bit on slow-mo?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Do we think that that's just ring rust? Do we think that it's because she was working with such a dynamic wrestler? Like, what? I mean, because
I'm glad that you're saying it like that, because it's the last few weeks we've been saying this about Mercedes, and there's sort of, it's not a hesitation necessarily. It's just so many different wrestlers, such different styles and paces that I'm not sure if it's her adjusting or her waiting. She's always kind of caught in waiting in between moves, waiting in between things.
Yeah.
There's one spot in particular, you can kind of see it. I think she gets thrown into the turnbuckle, and I'm going to butcher her name. Mikey, how do you say this name?
So it's pronounced Zeuxis. So it's
Zeuxis.
Like, yes.
Okay. I just didn't want to be total white guy. She falls back to hit her. And Mercedes just kind of hesitates for, are you slapping her? Or you it? And in that moment of hesitation, she gets her. Bam! Like, full face hair, everything. And I was like, oh, that was eyeballs, nose, and teeth. Nope. Oh my God.
Yep. Like, if you hesitate in Lucha Libre, they're going to take every opportunity to hit you with anything they got, because Lucha Libre is all about speed.
So I'm wondering if this is her working new styles and really adapting, because she's not struggling at all. She's holding her own, but she's just, I don't even want to stay a step behind, because that's not right either, but she's kind of learning in the ring, right?
Yeah. Like, the spot I'm thinking about is when Zeuxis and Mercedes are outside by the announcer table.
Oh, yeah.
And Mercedes jumped on the announcer's table and did like that, not a bulldog, but it was a spot where she came up off the announcer's table and around, but it felt like she did it. She jumped up, and then there was like lag, and then she did the spot, and there was a little bit more lag, and then Zeuxis like hits the ground.
I think the other thing too is that Mercedes understands that she doesn't want to try to get hurt before the match, because lest we forget, and for those of us that follow regular New Japan and New Japan Strong, this is not the first time that Stephanie and Mercedes are going at it, because they were in that miniature tournament at New Japan Strong to crown the inaugural Strong Women's Champion, and Mercedes beat Stephanie to advance to the finals, where she and Willow faced off. So I'm thinking that Mercedes is probably, maybe it might be a little ring rust, but I also think it's her not trying to overdo it before Forbidden Door, because we have seen how much AEW pay-per-views can be affected by injuries and all such. Lest we forget, the first Forbidden Door, we had multiple talent from AEW and New Japan missing because of injuries, illnesses.
Oh yeah, no. This is a curse they have on it for this time of year, is that they always end up losing 3 or 4 stars right before Forbidden Door.
So probably there was a pep talk. There was a meeting with corporate Daniels and HR, be like, and the rest of the talent be like, hey, we know y'all like to go crazy and go get buck wild, but we need y'all to tone it down just a little bit because we can't afford people getting hurt before Forbidden Door. Because we kind of saw that last year too with one match, which wasn't as bad. But they're like, hey, we should probably not try to kill each other before this big crossover pay-per-view. So let's tone it down a lot. So I think Mercedes was probably, all right, let me not overdo it here. And that could be a potential of why we saw a little bit of lag IRL in this match. But even with the IRL lags, I thought this was fantastic until the ending.
Yeah, I please don't misunderstand me. It was a great match. There was a lot of good work. It just certain little things that I saw. But yeah, Mercedes gets the pin, and we move on to the Mina Kurosawa spot.
This was another great promo.
Yep.
Especially for those who do not know anything about Mina's work.
Yep. Video package. I guess we should say, right?
This was my wife walked in on this one and was like, so what are you watching? It's like, no, this is a promo for the thing.
Now, this was before.
And of course, it's the 30 seconds in the middle where it obviously looks like, I ordered something from my parents' Comcast. Like, it was definitely like, no, trust me, they hit each other in a second. No, look, it's violent again. Everything's fine.
I love Mariah May and Mina. I was like, Club Venus is one of my favorite Stardom staples because it has them and Xia Brookside and just a lot of the Gaijin types of wrestlers for Stardom too are mostly in Club Venus, which is fantastic. I'm excited. Mina is so good. I'm looking forward to her match against Toni at Forbidden Door, which leads us into Mariah was pulling double duty tonight back to back with this one.
Yep.
Because that was on purpose. You needed to see her in both settings, obviously, because she's so different now.
Club Venus, Mariah May, and Mommy Dearest, right? Oh gosh, I love Toni Storm. Protect her at all costs.
Yeah. So we had Toni Storm being interviewed by Renee, and Mariah was there, and Luther was there, of course. And I guess on Wednesday they're going to have the contract signing.
Yep.
So
Mariah's,
yep.
Yes.
Now, do we think that this is going to be a further continuation of the split between Mariah and Toni Storm?
I don't think
now that Mariah is going. We have Mina Kurosawa.
So hear me out.
Okay.
I actually think, because originally I thought we were going to split Toni and Mariah. I don't think we're getting a split anymore. However, I'm still holding on to the idea, unless anything crazy happens. I think we're getting Toni versus Mariah at Wembley. I still think that is the plan because Mariah is going to win the tournament.
That's right, what I'm seeing right there.
And so what I'm hoping is after Wembley, I don't think Mariah is going to win, but I don't want to see a split between Mariah and Toni, but I would love to see that even though Toni beats her at Wembley, it raises the respect that Toni has for Mariah by pushing her to the limit, where I think the split is going to happen is I smell Luther pulling a stunt in the near future. Luther is going to pull a stunt. That's where I see the split happening.
Well, they've already teased that with the towel throw in where she almost blamed Luther for that, so it's coming.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Mariah May get the championship. In Wembley,
absolutely not. But
yeah, that's neither here nor there. Now, it's the spot of the night.
It's the professor's favorite segment.
That's right.
Large William saved this whole thing for me. Carry on.
Yep. So they actually it felt like a very WWE. WWF style, like the barbershop or Piper's Pit type situation, because we had some great set dressing. We had like a little fake grass, a tree, a podium. It was good. Large William was out there. He introduced the Learn Tree, Chris Jericho coming out, and they invited Private Party out.
Oh
Chris
my
Jericho,
God, is that Private
Party? Chris Jericho then was telling Private Party that their basics, their fundamental skills are lacking, and he went up on the rope to show them how to climb. Well, because he was taught by Stu Hart.
Well, yes, but he was taught to climb the ropes by the late Owen Hart. Had to bring him into it too.
Yep. To which Private Party snuck the learning tree and Big William, and looks like we have a little feud. What do we think, boys?
I think that Brian Keith is being way underutilized, and the fact that he's getting upset about corn production is really making me sad.
Yeah, yeah.
I have resigned myself that AEW is doing my boy dirty. What I'm hoping is when his stint with the learning tree is over, let's properly push the bounty hunter properly, please. Like,
Yeah.
come
Make
on
him
now.
the farmer.
We kind of talked about this last week. I really hope that's what this is, right?
It
I
better
really
be.
hope it's just getting him a little bit more recognition, which he should have had initially,
Yeah.
so that when he does break from whatever this is, we can put him somewhere and we can go somewhere with him.
Can I ask an honest question about this for everybody?
Yeah.
Why is this getting over? Why are people loving this now? Why are they on top of this?
I was trying to figure that out.
I'm gonna wait because I have a thesis about this, and it's not gonna be so nice. But I'm gonna reserve that for after everybody else has their input.
Go ahead. No, go ahead with your thesis there, Mikey.
I'll jump in before the thesis just because
Okay.
I don't know if it is over though. I think there's some people who are playing along because they realize how dumb it is. I know we're in Middle America, and I'm not saying Middle America is stupid, but I lived out there for 6 years, so I know there's a lot of stupid. So I get it. I feel like there's elements of the spectacle of, oh look, this is dumb, and people go, oh, it's funny, that's why I like it, and then they just kind of go along with it. The fact that I'm over it because of Jericho, and it's played out, and we've all talked it to death. Like, this is dumb. Get off my TV. Let's figure out something else. I like seeing Large William be stupid. For some reason, it just works for me. And I agree with Abuntador Dos that this felt like the late 80s when WWE used to do the sitcoms in the back, where they had a whole set for their thing.
Yep.
And then in the 90s, they just started doing talk shows in the ring. But this kind of blended the two. It's had a weird feel to it.
Yep.
I don't like Chris Jericho and what Chris Jericho's doing. But I said it last week too. I respect the fact that as a heel, he figured it out, a way to make me hate him more, and that's his job. So it kind of drives me crazy that I was manipulated. I don't know if it's as over as it appears, but it's over more than it should be. I guess that's a long way of trying to say that. And ladies and gentlemen, Spicy Mike.
All right, hold up. Let me take these off real quick because I don't want to break these.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. Such anger already?
Okay, I'm going to try to logically explain this as best as I can because apparently you can't be an educated wrestling fan, and that's the people that I'm going to be attacking for this little rant, so be prepared. So we're going to get canceled, you guys. I'm sorry. I personally believe, and this is not any of my co-hosts, this does not represent the views of the BC WrestlePod. This is just my own 2 cents when it comes to this thing. I think the learning tree is as over as it is for a couple different reasons. Number one, I think a lot of people attribute it to it's bad that it's good kind of mentality, which is obviously a complete lie. And Professor, I'm going to disagree with you because you stated earlier in your explanation that you don't think it's as over as it is. Maybe not in the circles that you are involved in, but because I run social media for us here, the internet fandom is eating this up. Like they cannot.
Are they really?
Yes.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you why. The reason that a lot of people are eating this up, and I have boiled it down to 2 reasons. Number one is the fact that as Buntador, as JVL, and you, Professor, have mentioned throughout this whole entire review, I think because Chris Jericho at this point has reached like nostalgia and is harping on those 80s, 90s kind of like wrestling interview television segments that we got in the past, that is why we are getting this now, because a lot of the AEW fandom grew up during that, and it's an alternative to what's been given to another promotion, the big corporate machine, WWE. The other reason I think people enjoy this is because, and this is going to get really, really deep, so I apologize. I think because we as a wrestling fandom are so used to this slingshot bingo ball microwave booking for a lot of this, wrestling fans don't have the mental capacity, the patience, or the intellect to be on board for long-term storytelling. And these companies throw out these stupid gimmicks because A, the lowest form of a pop is always going to be stupid comedy when it comes to wrestling, because there's good comedy characters that work and everybody loves because it organically gets there. And then you have this version where me, as an intellectual wrestling fan and somebody who loves long-term booking, I hate it because this is not funny. It's not written well. It's just, Jericho is in on the joke, but is overdoing it. And my biggest issue is because of Chris Jericho. And why I think people are so into this is everybody was all up in an uproar at, World's End with all the allegations coming out because he was a POS for everything allegedly that happened with Kylie Ray and everything else that came out with these alleged NDAs. But because people are willing to give up their own moral standings and their moral standpoints and grounds, because this is funny, is why this is getting over, because people are willing to look past all these things that allegedly happened because it's a fun television thing and it's a water cooler talking point when you're talking to wrestling about fans. I did not forget what Chris Jericho allegedly did to these wrestlers, not just in other promotions, but in AEW as well with these alleged NDAs. He doesn't get off the hook for that one. And I know everybody else has forgiven him, but I'm not going to. So that is why I think this is as over as it is because people are stupid. That is exactly why I think it is. This is low effort, low budget entertainment, and people will eat that shit up. I'm done. That is my time. My name is Maxine Waters, and I'm here to reclaim my time.
You know what? So with that, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's. I think that's a good idea.
So we got a John Moxley spot.
Can't wait for this rematch with Naito.
Yeah. So that was a thing, and then we had the Bang Bang gang came out, and
Juice
they
Robinson's
called out,
unhinged.
Yep. They called out the House of Black.
Cardblade.
So we're gonna be getting Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black on Collision.
That match should be baller.
Yeah, right. Especially with Juice there. Yeah. So, and then we got our second squash match of the night because we need to remember that Daniel Garcia is a thing.
And I love him to death. But why Nick Camarado?
I had no idea.
This is the rabbit hole I went on. I saw him and went, I know that guy.
You do.
I've seen that guy a lot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And I looked up and I discovered and reminded myself of all 5 iterations of this guy over the last 6 years and was like, where in the hell have you been?
Okay, so let me fill you in.
He's been in ROH.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been in ROH.
Okay. Doing well or just...
No.
Is he not liked? Is he horrible?
Let me put it this way. I like Nick Camarado. I love the idea that we had when they threw him with Jacoby Watson doing this like weird cult kind of thing. But they keep losing.
Yeah. And also what the which didn't do it any favors on the in Dynamite is that in ROH they let them do the whole bit.
Yeah.
Where you see Nick Camarado and Jacoby Watts and the whole like, it's good that the whole "it's good to be me" thing, and he's got.
I'm going to save you. You're going to believe in me, and you're going to be better.
Believe in our Lord and Savior, Jacoby Watts.
Right. Yep. And they have time to let that gimmick marinate and kind of get going. But in the AEW taping, you just saw Nick Camarado. I'm sorry, you only have Jacoby Watts like out as a manager type thing, and the match went so fast, and then they cleared out that you didn't have a chance to see the whole Jacoby Watts Nick Camarado thing. Were
they scared of hearing Nick Camarado's voice that doesn't match the body it's in?
It's like,
right? Mayhaps.
Could have been.
I guess. I don't know. But Daniel Garcia gets the win. So
weirdly though, Will Ospreay and MJF were watching this. I was like, why, you guys? Like, it's not even that competitive. Like, what?
So I'm not saying size matters in a fight. I'm not saying Daniel Garcia could not fight a larger man like this and totally squash him. I'm not saying I don't believe what I just saw. I'm saying I only kind of believe it because this was so fast and such a squash.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way that guy got gassed and beat like that fast.
Right. I mean, Daniel Garcia's good.
He's great. He's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Dude picks him up
Right.
and is just happily like, okay, I'm gonna put you down,
Right.
and gently puts him down. It took care of him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm very confused by this squanch match. I'm not sure why and what purpose it served.
Maybe after MJF is done with Roosh, him and Daniel Garcia are gonna like.
We got to give Daniel Garcia something because I thought him and Shabata were about to be the tag team, and then they took Shabata.
I know, and then they
put him with Joe and Hook. I was like, Daniel Garcia needs.
Garcia had a run with Adam Copeland a little while ago as well. There's been a bunch of people
Christian. Look, can we just have him and Wheeler fight it out and give Daniel Garcia the pure championship? That's what all I want to see.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
Right.
Have him fight Josh Woods over and over and over again.
Right.
Yes, that will be my match of the whole entire year, every single time. Just putting it out there.
Yep. So this brings us to our final spot of the night, where we had the bastard Pac, and he's angry.
And this weird lighting.
Pac's angry.
Pac walked out into like a weird side utility hallway and decided to cut a promo.
Yep.
And he announced himself for the Owen Hart tournament, so he's another entrant.
Yep. And he's angry. That was my takeaway. He's angry.
He angry boy.
He's angry.
This
Pac
is
now.
almost
So
angry boy.
But this brings us to our final match of the night, and that was Will Ospreay versus Rey Fénix. What do we think, boys?
This match was fun. I still hold, in this recent run of international championship matches that Will has put on, I still hold the one that him and Kyle O'Reilly have as my favorite of all of them that in this recent run that Will has had, being the work rate champion defending this title. But this was fun, and I'm just happy to see Rey back in the ring and not prone to the injury bug again.
Yeah.
So this was fun. But let's be honest, this match really served the purpose to set up what happened afterwards, because once again, Swerve is that dude. Swerve is that guy.
Yep. JVL, you were making some faces. What are your opinions on this match?
I mean, I thought it was better than Mikey gave it credit for it, because Rey Fénix has been out for quite a while. There's not a lot of ring rust on him, and the two of them showed the entire showcase of, we're gonna flip out of everybody's moves, and then we're gonna mess up each other's moves and still flip out of it and look really good. And then we're gonna flip back into it again, and we're gonna flip back out of it again, and be the most athletic thing I've ever seen on the planet. This is my match of the night.
Yeah.
I agree. I really enjoyed this match. There were some moments where we talked about this. This happens sometimes. I think there's sometimes where Fénix goes too fast, and it's like no,
Yes.
hang on, right? Where Will's like, I'm trying to protect you, don't go too fast, and then they kind of miss a thing or this a thing. Nobody got hurt. Nothing was out of line or crazy. This was fun. This was absolutely fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'm sort of, because Will Ospreay is so good. So every time I see a Will Ospreay match, I'm like, oh, is this going on my list for matches for the year? I have 3 other ones on there. This one I might revisit just going through, but this didn't make the list because the Will Ospreay bar is so high.
Let's be all the way 100. Will Ospreay ended up being on a lot of our lists last year, and unbeknownst to JVL too, I gave Adolfo one night when I was still there. Me and him sat down and watched wrestling, and I showed him my favorite Ospreay match of last year, which was the Ospreay Speedball Mike Bailey match. That match at Bound for Glory for Impact TNA was phenomenal. And then I immediately showed him for, the triple threat between Chris Sabin, Vikingo, and Kushida in a triple threat.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Nice. Ospreay is just so good.
Yeah, he continues to be, to me at least, one of those top tier wrestlers that you can put whoever with him, and the match is going to be a great match. And it might not be the best Will Ospreay match, but it is still a damn good wrestling match. You know what I mean? And Rey Fénix is fantastic. I'm not, the spot that they did where he flipped out of, Will flips out of Rey Fénix's move, and then Ray Phoenix, and he kind of like looks back at Ray Phoenix, and then Ray Phoenix flips out of Will's move, and like stands there. That was hot.
No, yeah.
But the
That was
creme
hot.
de la creme is that Will Ospreay did his own version of the Swerve stomp. I was like, oh, this is about to get personal, boys. I can't wait.
I forgot to say, Swerve Strickland was watching the match at ringside.
Before the match happened, Will walked by him and gave him the contract for the match.
If you watch that again, Will gets way too much height. He is way up there. So he's so far up. I'm like, oh no, not the knees, not the ankles, not the knees, not the ankles. But he does it just right because he's a professional. No. But
so we Will Ospreay, he gets the 1, 2, 3. He gets the win, and then this brings us to the face-off with Swerve and Will, and there's this little bit where Will Ospreay takes the belt from Swerve.
Well, it's like a hit on the shoulders, and it's jostled. He gets it in his hand.
After Swerve tells Will that he's not strong enough to
can't hold the weight of the world on his shoulders. And on top of that, Swerve says, "You're lucky you're my friend because other people have been put in the grave." I'm like, ooh, it's about to get crazy, y'all.
Yeah, so just building up to that match at Forbidden Door. I'm excited for it. So I just hope it doesn't get too bloody. Because we know that Will can get bloody. We know that Swerve can get bloody. I would much prefer to see Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland not get bloody and just be like a fantastic, like phenomenal wrestling match. You know,
I'm fully seeing this come down to Ospreay not hitting
the Tiger Driver,
and it costing him this time, and him trying to get Claw's way back to win the Owen Hart Cup to then have another shot.
Right now, what I think would be really good storytelling is that Will hesitates, but Swerve pulls out his own version of the Tiger Driver on Will to win.
Sure.
I think would be amazing. Here's what I'm looking forward to for Forbidden Door the most, and not to say that Swerve is not that guy, because we know Swerve is a fantastic wrestler and he's always elevating and adapting to his opponent. We know Will Ospreay is fantastic in the ring, and so is Swerve. What I'm hoping that comes out of this match for Forbidden Door between the two, this is honestly the litmus test for Swerve because he is that guy. So now it's time to now we're going to just talk about, Swerve is awesome. He's great. Now I want this to catapult Swerve into the stratosphere. Be like, down the line, Swerve is going to be in my Hall of Fame down the line, 2-3 years now. I want this to be, Will we know is fantastic, but I want this to elevate Swerve to the next stratosphere of stardom for him. Because I feel that he doesn't get the respect for as long as he's been wrestling. He's an indie darling. He has all these accolades in other places. I'm ready for Swerve to be elevated on mainstay television to the next level. This match is going to ball. I'm so excited. This is the main event.
Yep. So that was AEW Dynamite, gentlemen. As per the decree of the Biconic Shadow Council, we have to do the empanada scales. So let's start, Mikey. Let's start with you.
I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 Dynamite for me. I think that despite my hiccups with certain things, 2 squash matches, learning tree segment, it was okay. But again, the bar was on the floor because Dynamite last week was just a whole mess. Last week was not great. So this week was a definite improvement. El Buntador and I and Professor were talking before we started. I appreciate that we are building to Forbidden Door a lot better this year. We're not just we have a week until the match. Here's 8 matches that now got announced. But so far, we have 5 matches confirmed for Forbidden Door. We're probably setting up some more down the line. Give me another Stardom 6 Women Showcase. That's going to steal the show. It'd be fantastic. But as far as an episode of Dynamite, I give this a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this week. I like the matches. The squash matches were okay. And like I said, Learning Tree was but everything else was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And Swerve and Ospreay is going to tear down the roof. for Forbidden Door. So 7 out of 10 this week. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Professor.
I was sitting at a 6.5 for most of this, just because we got exposition heavy here, and we had the 2 squash matches, which I'm still like, why? What do we get out of that? Everything we've already kind of discussed and jumped on. Of course, the Lane Tree stuff always takes it down a little bit because I'm like, why are we doing this? That match at the end, though, I was like, oh, this is a 7.5. This is more than 7. Okay, this was fun. This is great. This was what I want to watch. The women's match was great. I don't want to say, no, I'm not going to say it like that. I'm going to say this. This should be higher. Book the women better. You have so many. We've been saying this and calling for this for so long. It's not enough doing promos and video packages. Get them out there doing stuff. So this is in 7.5 land for me.
Yep. JVL?
I was around Mikey with a 7 as well, but seeing Mercedes take Toni Storm's one match of the night and then not getting another match like we were promised to have at least a couple of women's segments on the night drops it down to a 6. I'm back to dropping down an Empanada every time at this point because they're really underutilizing the best part of their roster at this point. Even, and I say that with Will and all that stuff at the end. Give me more. I need more of that.
Yeah. I will say, though, I am excited for Toni versus Alex Windsor on Rampage. That match is going to slap. Yeah, I love Alex Windsor.
I'm excited for that. I give it a 6 out of 10. It was very spot heavy. Some of the spots kind of rambled. I feel, and JVL, now that you said that, I feel that had you pulled some of those spots out, we could have put a women's match in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Give us Serena Deeb, give us Thunder Rosa, give us Deanna Purrazzo in a squash match,
we're saving Deanna and Rosa for the no DQ match on Collision, which is also going to slap.
Yeah, fair, but
we could do women's squash would be better.
Serious?
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, just throw some more women on the show. It's not that hard, Tony.
Give us Queen Aminata. I mean, we haven't seen our name.
She and Ty are about to put on a banger. It's gonna be good.
But yeah, so that is our episode of Just Us Three Gents. Right? That's the tagline for this.
I love how the person who is not here on a weekly basis is doing our outro. I love it.
Right?
Yes, just our 3 gents. And, we will be back next week. Unfortunately, El Buntador will not be here unless something happens and we need to tag him in again. But it was a nice addition to have you, El Buntador. And this is the first of many reviews that you're going to see him on this week because this man is coming in clutch. And so you will see El Buntador and I take care of the TNA Go Home show. And he will also be doing Ring of Honor with myself and Jesse. It's about... Oh, also, by the time this video goes up, it will be early enough. Please go check out the Ring of Honor review because we are having a very special guest pop on.
Because El
Buntador. But let's be all honest, and he would even agree the best guest host is coming on here because Mama Laguilla is making her first ever on-camera appearance for Ring of Honor because this week's episode is the Palm Springs taping in which both myself and Mama Laguilla were there. So myself, El Buntador, and Jesse are going to be reviewing Ring of Honor with her, getting her insights. And this is going to be crazy. I'm super excited. It's going to be a good one. But
I'm sad I'm missing it.
I know. But because JVL also owes me a favor, I get to torture you because you have to do the Against All Odds pay-per-view review with me on Sunday for TNA. It's going to be great. The matches are actually really fun. I can't wait to torture you with it. But it's going to be a good time. And
I can't wait to see Brian Hawkins win a match.
Well, who knows? Because they're going up against the Nemeth brothers. Yes, plural, because it's Ryan and Nick Nemeth in the tag team title match. And then you can also see Professor this upcoming Monday because him, myself, and Minnie are covering Clash at the Castle. Yo, Sammy and Chad are about to burn the roof down. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
But from all of us here at Just Our 3 Gents and all of the BC Wrestle Pod boys, remember, take care of yourself. Love one another, stay iconic, but more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you next week for another Just Our 3 Gents review. But until then, adios and sayonara.
Billy Stark's outro.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.